Hi, everyone. Great to chat to you and to spend this new Monday morning with you, or Monday afternoon. It's just turned, the day has just turned from morning to afternoon. I know there's a lot of new people because over the weekend and especially this morning, we got so many requests for new people to join into the Mental Toughness Forum. That I do want to continue with last week's session. Do want to speak about the fourth dimension that we spoke about on Friday. However, I'm going to do that tomorrow because for the purpose, especially for new people who joined in today, I want you to get into the right frame of mind so that you understand what we're busy doing with the Mental Toughness Forum. Number one, I want to make an agreement with you that this is not a forum where I'm going to discuss politics or the coronavirus or the stage of life that we're in, or make predictions about sport or anything. That's not the purpose. That's a chat around the briar flash fire, and we can think about many things. But what we're going to share in this moment, in this session, is how you think. Because as you think, you are. I want to repeat this. As you think, you are. And the question I want to ask you is, how do you think? Because right through life, we are conditioned to think in a certain way. What do I mean by that? We are conditioned to think in a traditional way from where your parents come from your community, from your school. Every town has got a culture. A culture means a way things are done. Now, you are born into a culture. That means you are conditioned to learn to think that way. But what if what we think is not to our benefit? It's not the best thinking. What if our thinking is actually ruining life for us and we become victims of life? I want to share this with you because this is very important. There's many of you who don't know me personally, and you haven't attended all the sessions from the beginning because this has been going now for 4 weeks, a month already. This is the 5th week that it's going. And I've shared a lot of personal stuff in the previous week, but I know there's new people. So I want to start today by showing you or challenging you with a mindset. What is a mindset? It means my mind is set. It's not, oh, my mind is open, set it for me. Who's gonna tell me I'm fat? And then I'm gonna resist it, I'm gonna cry about that. But if my mind was open, if there's an open space in my mind for somebody who tells me I'm fat, or somebody who tells me I'm ugly, or somebody who tells me I can't do something, or I'm an idiot or a fool, or no, you're wrong. I mean, I know it's just a joke, but I know not many of us grow up that way. Am I right? No, it's a joke. We grow up that way. We listen to people who tell us, oh, yes, for sure your parents tell you you're amazing. But that's in comparison to the negative input in life, there's a massive difference. The amount of fear, of worry, of doubt that's put into our minds on a daily basis weighs tons in comparison to the milligram of positive thought that we are fed from outside. But what if you are mindful before you go into the day? So I'm going to show you what happened to me. Now, I grew up until the age of 30 years, I was a normal person. I'm still a normal person, don't worry. But I was thinking like a normal person. That means up and down every day. Some days was good, some days was bad, some days was terrible. And I doubted myself. The older I got, the more I doubt myself, because at school we've got the system where we ridicule each other, we laugh at each other, and when somebody laughs at you, you start to doubt yourself. And when you doubt yourself, you start seeing all the stuff that will confirm your doubt. Because as you think, you are. If you doubt yourself, you start to see what will make that doubt be a conviction, become confirmed. Now, this morning, I started out with my mindset. So I am mindful at this moment. I'm extremely mindful. You've got no idea. But 24 years ago, my mindset was that of a victim. That means I doubted myself. I wondered if I'm going to make it. My biggest worry was my lack of money, of income, of a job. I studied for 9 years. I was the hero in many people's eyes of success, and you're going to make it. But in my own heart, I knew, because I was addicted to pornography. I was a cheat. I was getting divorced from my wife. I didn't have children back then. So my mindset was absolutely a victim and vicious and mean, because that was the reality of my life. So reality determined my mindset. Reality is what you can see. For those of you who attended on Friday, reality is what you see. I had this box and I said, look at this box, what do you see? And you didn't see that it was a tissue box before, and I said, you see one dimension. One dimension is how most people live their lives. They see reality. This is reality. Some people go to 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, but very few go to 4 dimensions on the living side. We go to 4 dimensions. I'm going to speak about that tomorrow. But fear is a massive part of mindset of life. So 24 years ago, I was invited to go and attend a seminar of a motivational speaker, a black man who came to speak in South Africa. I come from a white regime. For me to go and listen to a black man was a strange thought. I was uncomfortable. But friends paid for our tickets and they picked us up, so I had to go. I had no excuse. I could close my mind, and I wanted to close my mind. Yet when I got there, I saw a lot of people who were extremely excited about this, and my mind was still closed. But the moment that person started speaking, my mind opened up. It was like the key unlocking. He didn't speak at me, he spoke to me, although he didn't know me. I was part of about 4,000 people in a huge center. But he spoke to me that weekend. And by the end of that weekend, I realized I have the mindset of a victim. And if I am a victim of life, I will never live victoriously. I will have moments of like greatness, but I will have the mindset of a victim. And therefore, I will be a critical and a judgmental person for the rest of my life, because I won't be able to see beyond my victim mindset. And I ask myself a question, how can I change it? So number one, I had to get a notebook. So I sat there and I listened. But the longer I listened, and that guy said it, if you sit here and I'm speaking to you and you don't make a note, you might as well stay at home, because you're going to forget what I just said. It sounds great right now. But unless you make a note and unless you speak this note to somebody else, it will not become part of your being. So for any new person sitting in at this session right now, condition number one, for this to have value in your life, not for me. You don't do it for me. Please don't think I'm going to check on you or this is the condition of the session. If you don't make a note, you will forget. You will remember a couple of days. It's really important. You will remember a week. Then you will forget. Because as I speak to you right now, there's many people who say, I've heard what you said. My question is, how many of those people who heard what I said 4 weeks ago, because we had the session 4 weeks ago, have written out their mindset and have spoken it? This morning I received an email from somebody who said, I am a procrastinator. Only last week did I get my hand on paper and I dared to write down something, because it actually frightens me to think this way. The comfortable thing is not to go where you're threatened, because the comfort of life doesn't expect you to be successful in life. But 24 years ago, I was in such a bad place that I borrowed a notebook from somebody There were great people around me. I borrowed a pen and I started making notes. But I did it in the wrong way because I said, you should, you should, you should. And I read it. I didn't ever read it out loud. I read it with my eyes. But many, many years later, something clicked in me. And I learned to write whatever I hear just for me. So when you write something down and you say you should take notes, just cross out that use and say, Yanni should take notes whenever you listen to somebody. Not you, you're not Yanni, I'm Yanni. Write your own name. I hope it makes sense. Just try it. If you've written the word you anywhere, just cross it out and write your own name in there. And now I'm going to challenge you. Even if you're alone, even if you're just with people, just read that sentence out loud right now. Hear your own name, put it in there. Is Yanni will take notes from now on because then he will remember. You see what we write down? We write down what you hear. I said you will forget because that's the way we condition ourselves right through life. Let me tell the other side, and this is the nice side. If you take notes and if you put in the effort of speaking this afterwards, you will remember them. And when you remember them, they will change your life dramatically because remembering them will cause you to make an absolute step of commitment to do them. And once you do what you know, you will understand life in a different way. Most people never do what they know. They know all the answers, but they never get to doing what they know because it's uncomfortable and it was never personalized. It never became yours. So I hope you've got a notebook. I hope you've got a pen, and I trust that you're going to make a note. But now I'm going to ask you to write down one thing that changed my life 24 years ago. The guy who spoke to us said, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you can ask. Every question has got an answer. If you ask good questions, you will get good answers. If you ask bad questions, you will get bad answers. The question is, which questions do you ask? And he challenged us. He said, write down in your book right now where you make notes, any question that if you find the answer to that question will change your life forever. Now I'm challenging you to do that right now. If you can write down any question that if you get the answer to that question right now, it will change your life forever. What will that question be? Now I'm going to take you back to my mindset. I was getting divorced. I was cheating on my wife. I was in pornography. My life was a disaster. I sat there and I said, yeah, I've got to find a good question. And I didn't want to ask this question because I already had this negative attitude towards my marriage. My wife was wrong because I accused her of not being the woman that I wanted her to be. And if I change my mind, it means she will be different. She will be okay. And I didn't want her to be okay because I was a victim. And my victim mentality can only come when there's somebody else that's guilty. So if nobody is guilty anymore, I stop being a victim. You know what the question is, what I wrote down, because it was very in my face at that moment, is what do I need to do to save my marriage? That was my question. What do I need to do to save my marriage? So what was the answer? The outcome of the question was already written in the question. Save my marriage. So imagine you write down, what do I do to stop being poor? You've already written down being poor. What if you say, what do I need to do to become financially free? Financially free, the word in your eyes. What do I need to gain back my health? Healthy. Instead of saying, what do I need to do stop being sick? What do I need to stop having problems? Stop. You never stop. You start. you start living a new life. So 24 years ago, that person said to us, who are you? What's your mindset? My mindset was, Harry, you don't want to know. I'm a cheat. I'm a victim. My parents got divorced. It was my father's fault. It was my mother's fault. Because alcohol abuse became part of our home, and we had a fight in our home every day. And I could point my finger to my past and say, those people are guilty. Those coaches who messed me up, who didn't tell me that they're not going to choose me. They promised they're going to choose me, and they didn't choose me. They cheated on me. They lied to me. I don't know whether you've seen the movie Braveheart, but the disappointment when we watched it last night, that's why I'm saying it. The disappointment in Mel Gibson as the actor playing in there. In that moment where he had an agreement with the next king of England or Scotland or whatever. But that agreement meant nothing because that king turned on him. And the moment he was taking off his helmet and he wanted to kill this guy, and he saw that it's the king, the disappointment. How many of you are sitting with disappointments in your life because the person you trusted most turned against you, went against his word or whatever? We all have the excuses. I had them. 24 years ago, I could point my fingers at everything that caused me to be a victim. The challenge that I want to give you today is, why not change your mentality? Circumstances will not change. It's been happening. It has happened. It's water under the bridge. It has happened. Do you want to be a victim for the rest of your life? Or are you willing to say, but everything happening to me is happening for me? Some of you can write that down right now. You can say, Yanni, everything happening to you is happening for you because God's word says so in Romans 10 verse 28. This you can be sure of, that everything will work together for the benefit of those who love God. If you don't want to believe in God, you be my guest. You're right. I mean, this weekend, our family challenge was, what's your favorite quote? And one of my favorite quotes was, I wrote it down. Whatever you believe, you will prove to be true. So whether you believe there's a God, or whether you don't believe that there's a God, you're right for you. Because if you don't believe in God, you're right. There's no God for you. Because God can only exist if you believe in him. And then another place in the word is written, according to your faith, you shall receive. That means in the measure of your faith, your life will show results. So if you can have little faith, you have little results. If you can have big faith, you can have big results. Faith is something you practice. Faith is not something you're born with. So faith is something you do every day. How is faith being said? Faith is being said by the tongue. In Proverbs 18:21 is written, in the power of your tongue is life and death. Not in the power of your thinking. Yes, whatever you think we speak. But the wise man will speak what he wants to see in the future. And I'm coming to my point because it's the mindset. Are you a victim or a victor? My son's name is Victor, not for simple reasons. His name is Victor with a purpose. Because your name is in your ears every day. And when you hear something every day, you start to believe it. What have you heard this morning? Have you heard nothing except the news or the podcast or the Facebook messages? Yeah, if you read my Facebook or listen to my Facebook message, you will enjoy it. It's have a date with life. Have a date today. And if somebody asks me, what am I doing for 4:30 this afternoon? I'm telling you, I'm having a date with my wife. Because that's life to me at this moment. I'm having a date this afternoon. Me and her are going to play a game of golf here in the back of our house. That's my date with life. I have a date with life. I'm not going to make an appointment for that time because I have a date with life. I can be so busy that I miss life. But every day I have a date, and that date is non-negotiable because that's life. And I start my day with my date. And my date every day is my mindset with my family. And they will ask me. So I will ask Tasha, she's sitting next to me, because I don't like to answer if somebody's not asking me. I love to respond because respond is respect. And I love showing respect because if I can't show respect, I have no platform to have authority. Because authority is not position, authority is a spirit. It's something you carry in you. And that spirit's foundation is respect. So I'm going to ask Tasha just to speak to me and say, Yanni, tell me again, who are you? And I will tell you my mindset. You've listened to my wife previously, those of you who were here. If you haven't heard her, you can go and watch the session. But today I'm sharing mine. 24 years ago, this is what I've written down on a piece of paper. And I've been saying this for the past 24 years, basically every morning. It's my mindset. If you can ask me, Tasha, if you don't mind.
Yanni, please tell us who you are.
Thank you, my darling. My name is Yanni Pitter. I'm a child of the King of this universe. I sit on his lap every day. I hear his voice clearly. I'm obedient when he speaks. That's why I'm so blessed. I'm married to the most amazing woman that I can dream of in my life. She's my partner, my lover, and my friend. And together we're a winning team. We are the parents of the greatest children that we raise to be winners in life. And through his lives, God's light shines brightly. Our home is filled with laughter, joy, and fun. I've got the most amazing parents that I can ever wish for. I honor and respect them. Therefore, I will have a long life and I'll be blessed wherever I go. We are financially free. Our cup runs over. We've got more than we can use because God is our source. He provides for us more than enough for every day. I'm in a physical condition like few other people because I can train like few other people can. Because the discipline of training is a discipline I apply in every aspect of my life. I'm always on time. I always go further than you expected me to. I will always surprise you. When the pressure is at its highest, I'm at my best. When others lose their cool, I'm the one that remains calm and in control. Everybody would like to compete against me because to beat me is to beat the true champion and a great honor. I'm the author of several best-selling books that changes people's lives dramatically right around the globe and opens doors to halls and stadiums packed with people who come to listen when I speak. I'm one of the top mental coaches in the world. And I'm going to add something right now because I realize I have to adapt to this. And my material is the most sought after right around this globe to change families, to change teams, to influence people's minds. Because the wisdom and the understanding through God's word in me changes people's lives every day. I'm a born champion. I have no fear, no worry, no doubt. I only have opportunities which I turn into a victory. And thereby I have another testimony which will touch somebody else's life. My name is Yanni Pitter. And that's the way I live every day. And for those of you, you can give me a hand. Thank you. Imagine you can have a mindset before you start today. 24 years ago, I said, I'm going to change my mind. I'm finished being a victim. I'm finished having excuses. I'm finished pointing out. Nobody owes me anything. Nobody owes me anything. You can't pay me for this. I'm giving this. You can pay me whatever you want to. But God is my source, not you. I'm giving this because God said to me, this is a season of sowing. The more you sow, the bigger the harvest. What is the harvest? Last night, me and my wife had this chat. Is money my goal? How much is enough? I've got enough today. I can eat. I've got a great bed to sleep in. I've got a wonderful home where I stay in. My goal is not to be the wealthiest person in the world financially. My goal is to become one of the wealthiest people in this world, in God's kingdom, in making a difference, in touching lives, in being meaningful, in displaying God's glory. That means when you look at me, you must say, I want what you've got. And I'm going to say to you, man, have faith. Because faith will give you everything that people who are realists can only dream of. Because faith is to be sure of what you hope for. The title deed of the things you cannot see yet. So today I'm living in my faith of yesterday. Now it sounds like yesterday. So today I can believe tomorrow. No. God has his time. When you're ready, you will experience it. Never chase God. Your time, 1,000 years is like 1 day, or 1 day is like 1,000 years. In due time, when you practiced your faith, you will understand that money doesn't change the world. Listen to Steve Jobs' testimony just before he died. He said this, I have all the money that I can buy in this world. How can I buy back my health? Simple part of life, health, beauty. On my mindset that I spoke yesterday on Facebook, I said, when last have you seen the sunrise? And Rihanna, she wrote me an email. She said to me, Yanni, you know what? After you said that, this is the first morning we have seen the sunrise in many, many years, and be aware of it. It was amazing. My challenge to you is, before you start tomorrow, have your mind set. You don't set your mind by thinking, you set your mind by speaking. We finished with the session today. I want to challenge all of you. When you finish now, speak to the people next to you. Speak to the person. If you're on your own, speak to yourself. Say, Yanni, can I ask you a question? Then I'm going to say, yes, you can. I'm speaking to myself here. I'm imagining Tasha's not here. I'm trying to scare it. So, Yanni, can I ask you a question? Just show respect by asking. And then I'm going to say, for sure, ask me. And then I'm going to say, tell me, what have you written down on that piece of paper today? Then I take that piece of paper and say, Yanni will set his mind tomorrow morning. My mindset is going to change my life forever. I will do this every day of my life. And the person will look at you and say, really? And then you say, watch me. And then enjoy each other. Have fun. Oh, I wanted to speak about synergy, but maybe we'll get to that on Wednesday, maybe tomorrow. I've got no idea, because today is a surprise to me. I can plan many things, but I have to listen to what's on my spirit. For those of you who've written down a question, I want you to share that question with the people next to you. And those people who hear a great question, if you're master of your home there, I want you to send me the question you believe will make the biggest difference if you find that answer. So send me an email if you don't care, if it's not too big a problem. It's not necessary, it's not a condition. I would love it if you can send me an email and say, our best question was, this is the question. Because sometimes somebody else needs to hear the question somebody else could ask. And who knows, a life might be changed forever. Have a super day. It was great chatting to you. Are you a victim or a victor? They don't compare. Change your mind. Change your mindset. It's a daily thing, early in the morning, before the world can get a chance to set it for you. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye.